And we are live, folks. It is El Paso Locomotive FC taking on Oakland Roots. We've got the stream up. The stream is starting soon, and I'm going to go ahead and take a second and tweet out the fact that we are live. Let's see. Should I use the YouTube or the Twitch? Maybe the Twitch link would be better. But we'll go ahead and get the link out. Maybe I'll use the YouTube just for ease of use. Is it showing we are live? It is showing we are live, which is nice of them. I'm gonna go ahead. Don't mind that. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Thank you guys for joining. I'm solo to start. I will be joined by others here in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and get started in terms of, talking about this match and getting into the nuts and bolts of Locomotive's game tonight against Oakland Roots, against Benny Feilhaber, of all people. The former United States men's national team midfielder is Oakland's new manager, and for whatever reason, Locomotive attracting a new manager bounce. We've also got a new thing going on. If I can, right here. We've got a little comment box. So as you guys comment, it'll actually pop up on screen. So, be relatively chill, but evening, Herbie, always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm just making sure that this goes out to the masses. We are live. Be sure to join us to watch Locomotive take on Oakland Roots. Okay. So that is out. Thank you guys for popping in. And yeah, it is a late kickoff over here on the eastern part of the country. But I've gotten accustomed to late Locomotive games. So it's no problem. Let's go over the starting lineup briefly. So first things first, for Locomotive, in goal, it's Sebastian Moramora because Jamali Waite is on Jamaica duty, as is tradition. And then the back four, no big shocks because the center backs are Wahab Akwe and Palermo Ortiz, but Ricky Ruiz and Alvaro Quezada get the start in the fullback positions, which means Memo Diaz, obviously, and sort of famously a Roots alumnus, he starts from the bench. Gabby Torres, Eric Calvillo, and Frank DeRoma start in midfield, and then Amando Moreno, Beto Avila, and top scorer and player of the month nominee Andy Cabrera start up top. This has been a really good stretch for Locomotive in the league. Obviously, a couple of setbacks in terms of the loss to Switchbacks in the Jaeger Cup and missing their shot at glory, as they say. But Locomotive, otherwise, I mean, extremely strong. They've clearly been very solid. This 4-3-3 shape has really been working for Locomotive, and they are at full strength. Had a decent rest in between the cup game last week, and now most of the players starting today had a full week off in terms of, like, they didn't even play against Colorado Springs. So they are going to be up and at 'em for the game against Oakland Roots, which it's worth mentioning the Oakland Roots lineup as well. Kendall McIntosh starts in goal for them, and then they have Naveal Hackshaw, Kai Green, and Julian Bravo starting across a back three. They're in a 3-4-3 shape, which it's funny because on the podcast this week, I said, I just associate, I don't know what Benny Feilhaber is going to play, but I just associate him with 3-4-3 because 3-4-3 is what he does. And 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 because he's obviously a brand new manager with Oakland. No one really knows like what he's gonna do. But I said I always associate Oakland Roots with a back three, and sure enough, it looks like they're in a back three. The wing backs, so they're in a 3-4-3. So those three center backs, Hackshaw, Green, and Bravo. And then the wing backs, Ali Elmas Noy, 20-year-old, starting at right wing back for Roots. And then Wolfgang Prentice at left wing back. Prentice is like the one to watch. He's gotten the goals for Oakland this year, and he is the one who has been productive in terms of Oakland Roots, who have really struggled this year in a lot of different areas. And then in central midfield, they've got Tyler Gibson in that sort of more defensive role, and Panos Armanakis, someone who needs no introduction. So Armanakis is like, he's a quite talented USL level player who has bounced around a lot, but he is in Oakland now, and we are underway in the Coliseum. Their last three: Maury Donor, Peter Wilson, and Jose Sinistera, starting up top for Oakland Roots. So Locomotive's first time playing against Roots in the Coliseum. This is a legit venue. Like, it is very cool. As Locomotive getting on the ball right from the off, and a centering opportunity here for I think it was Avila who had drifted out wide to the right hand side, but Locomotive able to get control of it. I will say the decision to wear the graffiti kit when Oakland's in all white, this is a TV nightmare. This does not look good on my on my monitor. I'm not sure about y'all, but the ability to distinguish with ESPN Plus's quality is, I mean, it's not impossible. It's not the worst clash I've seen this season in USL, but it's certainly not good. Like, the midnight kits would have solved a lot of problems here. As Oakland Roots earn a free kick in midfield. Gabby Torres, the offender there. And I'm just going to mute briefly because I'm going to type very loudly and get some graphics going here for this. I enjoy doing the watch-alongs, so no arguments here. That being said, it has been tough for us to get together on match days because Locomotive have played a lot of weird times, a lot of weird days, like a lot of Friday games. It's just been odd. So it's been tough for us to get together. A lot of us are traveling, so I'll be having folks join in here because I believe Christian will be on in a little bit, and then Mika is hoping to join, so we should have a fuller crew, but it's just me for now. Oakland Roots free kick on their right wing, in an area to deliver this in, and Panos goes to the far post. A free header initially. What a save from Seb Moramora. My goodness. That is how that wasn't a goal. I truly am not sure how Oakland hasn't opened the scoring already. It was knocked down. It comes off the knee of, I believe that was Julian Bravo. Yeah, Julian Bravo in the center. And now Locomotive straight down the other end. Beto Avila to the end line. And it's turned behind by Nabil Hackshaw, and goalmouth action at either end. Can't even go on mute long enough to get the graphics going. Nabil Hackshaw, that could have gone anywhere, and it is a corner for Locomotive here. Wow. Two near goals at either end inside 4 minutes here. And I will try to call out the timestamp as we go, but I'm at 3:27, 28, 29, 30 as Gabby Torres floats a ball into the center after the short corner routine, and it's headed away, and Locomotive will have a throw-in. All right. We've got the graphics up now, which I always neglect, so it may not end up mattering. Locomotive trying to get down the right hand side and then cleared behind, and it's only a throw given. I think that was actually borderline, probably could have been given as a corner, but throw in for Locomotive and still maintaining possession deep in Roots territory as Daroma tries to get possession, centering pass. Daroma's got, he's got it in a good area, but he decided not to turn. That was a bit bizarre. I was expecting Daroma to try to shape to shoot there as he sort of unexpectedly got the ball back in Oakland's box, and he tried to take a touch. I think he was looking for someone with a better shooting opportunity, but would have loved to see Daroma just kind of leather one there. He has scored his first goal for the club a couple of weeks ago, so it would be nice to see him add to that. And I think in general, just seeing a diversification of goal scorers for Locomotive. Andy Cabrera out of the side last time out, and no goals against switchbacks, although there were opportunities for sure, as Ortiz dribbling into midfield and breaking lines. And Locomotive have started brightly here despite Oakland's early chance from the set piece. They are looking sharp, and just a little bit of a mistouch from Andy Cabrera there, although a nice bit of pressing, and the ball's behind for a goal kick. I was hoping it would go out for a throw, but a bright start here from Locomotive. I think all things considered, they have looked sharp in the early stages here at the Coliseum. I will say it's a bit of a shame that Oakland just can't seem to get their stuff together, because this venue really deserves a team that is cooking. I believe the home opener had like 25,000 people. Header back to Moramora. Moramora, I didn't really talk enough about his save because Locomotive immediately almost scored the other end. Moramora's save from Julian Bravo's initial touch. He doesn't make clean contact with it, but Moramora really positioning himself well to be able to keep Oakland off the scoreboard in the early stages here. And then since then, it's luckily been Locomotive, but Oakland in possession. We talked about the fact that they are in a back three, and for those joining late, wow, a big challenge there from the Oakland player on Quezada, but out for a throw for Locomotive. That was a crunching tackle down Oakland's left-hand side. As a bit of a slip here, has created a chance for Oakland, and a really good tackle on Sinistera as he looked to be through on goal. That was fantastic stuff from Locomotive. I'll have to see the replay, which I'm sure they'll show, because I think a lot of Oakland players crying foul, but this tackle from Ricky Ruiz, wow, just a bit of a miscontrol from Sinistera, and Ruiz got in there, and yeah, certainly not enough for a pen, I don't think, but good tackle from Ricky Ruiz to avoid the danger. Wiki Ruiz. Ay. Gabby Torres in space. Slides it in. It's cleared away initially and then headed clear, but only finds Eric Calvillo on the edge of the box. Options here for Locomotive, and Eric chooses to roll it back to Aqua to just help recycle. Played out to the wing. Nice initial touch here. Cabrera. And then Quezada whips it in, but a throw in goes Locomotive's way. Oakland player down after that challenge. I think it was just a matter of Quezada like falling onto Nabil Hackshaw under Hackshaw's challenge. So I don't think anything untoward going on there, but Hackshaw getting some attention from the physios. Benny Feilhaber, worth mentioning. He's his first game in charge of Oakland, and Locomotive for some reason attracting the new manager bounce, if you will, because Birmingham Legion had the same situation where they fired Tommy Sohn and played Locomotive the next day, or the next game, I should say, not the very next day. That would be kind of wild if that's what were happening. Locomotive take the throw. It's whipped into the middle. Locomotive, a lot of crosses here early. Nice challenge on the press to maintain possession here for Locomotive. And then the shot came in. Looks like Amano Moreno got kind of cleared out as he took the shot, but the camera work, abysmal, to say the least, or production, I guess, not the camera work necessarily. Production didn't really allow us a good look at that situation, unfortunately. 0-0. We're approaching 10 minutes, and Locomotive have had a decent amount of the ball. No big chances to speak of yet, as DeRoma opts to go back to Palermo Ortiz with possession, and Locomotive just trying to find a route through Oakland. I mean, they've been going wide and they've been finding luck getting space in wide areas, but they haven't necessarily found the right pass, that right final pass, that that right cross to get things across the line. But Locomotive looking decent here in the opening stages. A nice flick there from Moreno to Gabby Torres. Torres looking for options. He didn't have the help that he needed necessarily, but that touch, Ricky Ruiz, now Moreno was kind of looking for contact in the box. The ref wasn't buying it. It looked like he dangled his foot a little bit there, but Locomotive still pushing here. Was Beto Avila fouled on the edge of the box? He certainly thinks so. DeRoma working hard to win it back and doing really well. DeRoma slides it across. Moreno has a shot. Side netting. It looked like maybe Moreno had squeezed it in the near post, but what good work from Frank DeRoma to win that back initially. And then Moreno just takes a touch out of his foot and can't quite control the shot to the level that he wanted. But that's a really nice chance created by DeRoma and nearly finished off by Amano Moreno. And Locomotive have the ball back again. Eric Calvillo, I think, winning it back in midfield. And Locomotive's press doing its job so far. I think they've set out with a clear game plan here, and it's looking good thus far. Moreno caught in possession, though, and now Oakland have a chance to break here. Gibson trying to find Sinistera in the middle of the field, but now the cross comes in, headed away. Palermo Ortiz, and head injuries both ways. It does look like Ortiz and maybe Gibson down now. And Ortiz's reaction was immediately sort of, I think maybe he has a cut. Oof. Yeah, they just a total clash of heads, and it was Wilson up top for Oakland, who, aside from Wolfgang Prentice, has been their other most productive player, but overall not been a great season for Oakland offensively. But for Peter Wilson, he has been sort of the bright spot. Wolfgang Prentice as well, just very productive. But Frank looking like a Chelsea DM. Yeah, I mean, he does have a certain amount of N'Golo Kante vibes for being, a more diminutive midfielder. And it looks like Palermo's getting treatment for a cut on his, maybe above his eyebrow, which is all about like the nature of the contact, which is really tough. Because the actual clash is not too terrible, but if he gets that cut, then it is they have to make sure that he's not bleeding. Oh, is he coming out? Jeez, Palermo coming out. That means Chumasi, I'm assuming, would be the one who would likely replace him. Tough early blow for Locomotive to lose Palermo Ortiz. That cut must be really bad too. If he's not able to stay in the game, then that has to be a really significant cut. Because it doesn't look like, and I'm no doctor, you guys know that, but I'd imagine, like, based on the nature of the contact and the way he reacted, he's not coming out for like concussion worries. Like I wouldn't imagine. Or maybe he is. Maybe it is concussion that concerns why he's coming out, but I don't see any subs being readied, but it does look like Ortiz is. He's headed towards the bench, and it does look like they're treating him for a cut, but it looks like I don't know. It looks like he's going to be able to come back in. It just looks like maybe they're treating it, but Chumasi's like running, like warming up behind the bench, but it doesn't look like he's imminently coming into the game. So it does look like Ortiz is going to be okay to continue here. So good news for Locomotive. But he does continue to receive treatment as play restarts. So Locomotive temporarily playing with 10 here as Wilson comes back on for Roots. So they do have a man advantage here as now Ortiz jogs back on. So all good. Even Steven now, and Locomotive none the worse for wear. Hopefully Palermo Ortiz none the worse for wear. Given the potential head injury, as that long ball over the top is headed away by Ricky Ruiz. Oakland in possession here. That was a nice nifty little turn, but I think Ricky Ruiz, or perhaps it was Palermo who was fouled. My stream just kind of got really shitty. I don't know about anyone else, but oh man. 0-0. We are at about 16:35 on my stream, just so everybody can keep up with where we're at. But Sebastian Moramora, who is starting in place of Jamali Waite, who is with the Jamaican national team, gets play restarted from the free kick. Going pretty long. Oakland end up winning the ball initially, but then it's able to be played back to Palermo, who finds Wahab Akwe, and then it's out to Ricky Ruiz. Flick on again from Amando Moreno, who's really done well there. And then Beto Avila tries to go down the line, and Moreno trying to. Looks like Moreno maybe was elbowed here. Referee walking over to state his case, basically, that no, he doesn't think he was. Moreno really went tumbling down that touchline. Oh, yeah. I looked a bit shoulder to shoulder from here. So I think the referee's actually gotten that one right. And y'all know I'm the quickest to call out when I think someone's been fouled, as Ricky Ruiz was there. So Gabby Torres over this free kick. Out on the left wing, and Locomotive trying to decide kind of they're not setting up here for anything into the box. So in the end, Torres ends up playing it crossfield to Ortiz. It's the feet of Quezada now to it's circled back now to Ortiz, and then eventually works its way back to Quezada. Ortiz with a nice line breaking pass, but a mistouch there out on the wing from Cabrera, and Oakland headed the other way, but a poor pass. Yeah, I would agree, Herbie, that New Mexico's field looks in pretty rough shape, and the surface in Oakland, you got to say, looks pretty pristine. You can tell that this is all that's being done, right? Like in these multi-use venues, it can be so easy for the pitch to take a beating, and it's very clear that the Oakland Coliseum is home to one team and one team only, and that is Oakland Roots, which is a cool thing, despite the fact that they are kind of diabolical right now form-wise. And Ortiz sold that short a little bit, and Cabrera wasn't able to get on the end of it. Oakland going the other way, but again, a misplayed pass, and Akwe sees it back to Mora. Thrown all the way out to Quezada. Palermo Ortiz really is great at just having those passes that break lines. It looked like probably Andy Cabrera was fouled out on the far touchline, but nothing doing in terms of what the referee said. It did look like he was fouled. I sympathize with Andy there, and I mean, it happened right in front of his dad. So the referee getting a regular AAU treatment out there as a handball now goes against Oakland Roots, and Locomotive will get the ball back. Great crossfield pass there. Finds Beto Avila. And Avila played a back heel to Gabby Torres, or at least where he thought Gabby Torres should have been. But Gabby did not make the run that he anticipated and was roughly 20 yards away from the back heel when Beto made it, unfortunately. So, free kick restart for Oakland. And it's booted long, but Gabby Torres' header is only to an Oakland player. And now Oakland again trying to break, not able to get any love there. Maury Donor out on the field. You can do the math on FOTMOB. He's still listed as a Detroit City player, but obviously in the starting lineup for Oakland Roots. So that transfer is finalized, I think you could say, as Gabby Torres, really good initial work to find him on a Moreno, but he wasn't able to keep control. Ball played around the corner, and Locomotive able to get it back, and then Ruiz able to play it back, at least initially, to Palermo, who neat feet to get out of trouble. Had me gasping a little bit there as the ball was played up toward Beto Avila, and free kick given his way. I think rightly so. It was Julian Bravo, I believe, who fouled him, the center back for Oakland Roots, but Eric Calvillo looking to try to restart quickly, and does. Ball's down this Locomotive right, and some nice passes initially. And Quezada's released Calvillo here. Has someone made the right run, and a scuffed shot in the end from Armando Moreno. And you can see the frustration there, because that was a gilt-edged chance. And what a nice little link up initially from Calvillo and Quezada to even create that chance. And what a sliding intervention then from Ricky Ruiz down, as it looked Oakland looked to break down the left, and he ends up breaking down the left, and Deroma and Avila playing a 1-2, but Avila not able to receive the return ball. Locomotive are just here in terms of that last ball being right, and Mondo scuffed this one. I'm not sure how he doesn't catch that more cleanly. It was a nice little cutback from Calvillo, who had done really well initially to find Quezada, and Quezada had done really well to slide Calvillo in down that right-hand side. But man, it was a nice intervention initially from Calvillo, but he wasn't able to gain control of the ball. That was again, the press from Locomotive more or less working, as Wahab Akwe able to gain control of the ball in front of Wilson for Oakland Roots. But Still 0-0, 24 minutes pretty much elapsed as now a free kick goes against Beto Avila. And I think it might be Nabil Hackshaw on the deck again. Referee coming over to assess the player who's down. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a particularly clever challenge, and it's not Hackshaw. It is Kai Green who's down for Oakland Roots. He's being helped to his feet. Beto Avila probably needs to be a little bit more careful. It like I said, not a super clever challenge, not something that I'd be overly chuffed with, but trying to keep this mainly out of the way. But anyways, Oakland get things restarted from the free kick. Locomotive engaging them near midfield and really hounding this Oakland side, which it has worked so far. Wahab Akwe plays it into touch for a Oakland throw. Well won by Locomotive again, just a combination of pressing and Daroma winning the free kick here. And a big switch from Palermo Ortiz. Amando Moreno not able to bring it under control. And I mean, safe to say, without being overly critical of Amando so far, it hasn't been his sharpest night in the opening 6 minutes or so. Couple of nearly moments, and you almost wonder like if Amando's mixed game time across like cups and different things, like if he's almost shaking the rust off a little bit as Oakland trying to get forward, but a missed touch in midfield by Sinistera, and Daroma's able to win it back before handing it off to Torres, and eventually it gets to Quezada. Wolfgang Prentice really making a mess over there, and then winning the free kick for Oakland, which they get restarted quickly. Initially, I thought Quezada had an opportunity here to kind of go down under the pressure from Prentice, but in the end, Andy Cabrera making his case to the referee that like, hey, that challenge on Prentice is basically the same thing that that you didn't call when it happened to me. So yeah, making his case for sure. Centering pass for Oakland slides in, and Wahab Akwe with the intervention. It was Gibson, I think, who had sprinted onto that one. Yeah, Tyler Gibson nearly finishing that one off. It was a cross initially from Prentice, which just wasn't dealt with from Ricky Ruiz. He hipped it down, and Wahab Akwe with a nice intervention as Javi Machado. Welcome. Good to have everybody, and absolutely let's go Loco. But Tyler Gibson, who nearly finished that chance, now with a chance from the corner to whip this one in. Goes to the far post, headed away by Gabby Torres. Good intervention. And now it's a sort of a foot race between Hackshaw and Amando Moreno. And Moreno, I don't know, Amando's doing this thing tonight where he's doing the right thing, but and the throw does go Locomotive's way. Amando's doing the right thing, but he's trying to embellish a lot of the contact to the point where he doesn't sort of finish what he's trying to do. And I think Amando just needs to focus on, like, this game is going to be won because Locomotive are a better side than Oakland Roots, right? So emphasize the quality, emphasize the technical ability. Don't try to win the game cheaply, because you are good enough to beat this team in a stand-up fight. So no need to play any games. As a ball into midfield, well read by Eric Calvillo, and then out wide to Andy Cabrera. Ball initially played through and no foul given. This is where Andy Cabrera, and this is going to sound like criticism, and I guess at a certain level it is, but Andy Cabrera, as Oakland do have a chance here. I kind of expected the offside flag to go up, but more and more able to collect. Here's my thing about Andy Cabrera. He is an elite finisher, and I think that's quite clear. Like when he's in form, he's unbelievable at scoring goals. As this ball going down the left-hand side, Gabby Torres in more space, and he's whipped it into a good area and maybe earned Locomotive a corner here and has done. The thing about Andy Cabrera is that if he is touching the ball in the box, there's basically no player on Locomotive that I'd rather have with the ball at his feet in the box than Andy Cabrera. His finishing ability is very, very good. And he's not the player that you want with the ball at his feet out on the wing, like when he's far from goal, just because he's not a particularly good dribbler and he's not a particularly good passer. Like, and again, this is not taking anything away from Andy Cabrera. As the corner comes in from Calvillo and headed at the near post, Palermo. We've seen that move a million times where Palermo makes that near post run and he made too solid of a contact on the header, and he definitely wanted more of a flick on. Andy Cabrera, when he gets the ball out wide, I think those are the parts of his game that are not particularly strong. Whereas when he gets the ball in the box, like he scores a lot, he assists a lot. It is just a reality that he is very, very good at being decisive and making a decisive sort of final touch on the ball, as Gabby Torres is able to turn away from Panos Amranakis, his former teammate at Phoenix Rising. But I think you see Andy Cabrera's limitations when you see him out on the wing, as he definitely was fouled there. And the referee does give the free kick his way. We've played 31 minutes into the 32nd now, as just trodden on. I think it's safe to say that's what the the British would say. And Cabrera getting back to his feet here, I think it'd be all right. Locomotive in their graffiti jerseys. And big cross into the box. Couple of players interested, and Torres will opt to just let it roll out for a throw for Locomotive and get it restarted quickly to Moreno. Moreno's got some options, sells the pass short for Cabrera on the far side, and now Oakland trying to break. Oakland going down this left-hand side. I think it's Wolfgang Prentice. Good sliding intervention from Palermo Ortiz. But you can see the vulnerability here from Locomotive in that, like, there's not a particularly good response to the breaks. Like, the press has been fantastic, but when Oakland do break, they have looked like they can get into some dangerous areas, and there's no real getting around that. Throw here for Locomotive. Quezada opted to chest that down, which, I mean, I guess he didn't have many options, but now Locomotive onto it. It was a loose touch in midfield, and Gabby Torres sprinting down this left-hand side again gets the better of Elmas Nawi. Sorry, didn't want to butcher that too bad, but he gets the better of Elmas Nawi, and then Locomotive now a little bit settled into possession. All all 11 Oakland players behind the ball, and then a miscommunication between Quezada and Ortiz. And I think it's safe to say that the sharpness has gone out of Locomotive a bit. So I'm joined by Christian Canales. Christian, welcome.
Sorry, so late, but I'm in uniform at least.
Yep. No, that's have you been watching so far, or
No, I just tuned in. Like there was a free kick that someone for us got a head on, but it went wide. So probably about 4 minutes ago.
okay. Yeah. I think that was the corner from
Or sorry, corner is what I meant. Yeah.
yeah. So far it's been like good but not great, I guess would be the easiest way. And like too many of these sorts of attacks, as I'm
Mhm.
I don't know timing wise where you're at. I'm at like 34:45.
I'm at
Okay.
44, so
Okay,
not too far
perfect.
behind.
Yeah, we're right synced up to Oakland. Maury Donor trying to center that ball and blocked away by Ricky Ruiz, but I wore this thinking maybe Mika would be on as a bit of a joke. With
Damn.
it hit locomotive notes with the dark blue and and yellow, but for anyone who knows, Mika is a Michigan State Spartan, so bad blood there.
Did a dirty Phil.
Yeah. This is the like I said, the sort of stuff that's been, not threatening, but sort of. Oakland did I
I
don't even want to say
saw
did. They should have scored in like the third minute.
I saw that one on Twitter. I don't know
Okay.
how he got that open, absolutely unmarked.
Yeah,
Fantastic ball from Armanakis, but
I know. Yeah. The knockdown, everything about it was perfect. And basically, if it hits anything but uh Bravo's hip, it probably goes in, but it comes
mhm.
off his hip, and then Moramora is able to save, and corner came in, and Moramora has to tip this one over the bar. Head injury. Ortiz was down for a head injury again, or a little bit ago, probably about 20 minutes ago, and yeah, he gets
Ooh, caught an
elbowed
elbow
here
there.
in the back of the head. That should be a foul Locomotive's way. I think he's given another subsequent corner, and he's saying they have to take it from the other side. They're set up to take the corner, and he's making them take it from the other sideline.
Sometimes I feel like it's so arbitrary.
Yeah, like
Like that was literally like right in the middle of the
right,
net.
like it was on target essentially. And it's Gibson, I think, getting ready to take this one.
Has this ref been doing the most all match?
A little bit. Not in a necessarily negative way, because I think he's been largely correct, but his he definitely likes waving get up at players. Primarily Amando Moreno so far tonight, but which again, he hasn't really been wrong about. But now
Yeah.
he's pulled this back for a free kick, like on the edge of the area. The ball was like at midfield. This is really strange. He pointed for something, and then like play continued for a while.
So there's a telling someone something.
Oh, it's like off the ball. Ortiz like through either Sinistera or Wilson, like threw him off, and now Oakland with a chance from the Edge of Locomotive's box. Armanakis obviously interested in this. It looks like Gibson over it as well for Oakland. Armanakis to take and blazed over.
Armanakis, the unanimous decision for best player in the USL,
Yep.
according to himself.
He received 1 of 1 vote. Or maybe 2 of 2. His dad is also terminally online in terms of USL Twitter is
but as we talked about on the pod, he has yet to stay with a team for a full season, I believe. Like a full 34 games or whatever a season is.
Or no, I think he was in Phoenix for 2 years technically.
Oh, okay. I thought he just showed up for that like half season after he got traded from Loudoun and then
maybe
went to Memphis.
Or maybe wait, was it that short? I guess it's possible. A lot of weird stuff went on with Phoenix around that time because, like, I think that was
Is that when Shantz got fired too?
I think it was the Shantz firing and like the homophobia and like all of the like there was a lot going on at Phoenix at that time.
I have a lot going on. We just can't deal with your nonsense right now.
Yeah, you're also you're also doing the most, so we can only we can only do so much. Locomotive get a throw. 40 minutes played. Gabby Torres wandering over to take, but danger from both sides, but I wouldn't call it like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it like chances necessarily. Like the best chance for Locomotive, Moreno mishit. It was a really good pullback from Calvillo as Oakland onto this one. I think it was Armanakis who was running onto that, and luckily Locomotive able to win it back. Ricky Ruiz looking to play a ball out as Beto Avila does a little inside out run and just muscled off it by Julian Bravo. A couple of young guys in this Roots side with Benny Fallhaber at the helm for the first time, but I thought Palermo had maybe dicked around a little too much with that, but able to shield it for a throw. But yeah, it does feel like maybe the first half petering out a little bit, and just after some promising early play, like Locomotive haven't really created a ton, but maybe something on the cards now here with Moreno into the box.
Flags down.
Had to pull it back. DeRoma switches it out wide for Ruiz. He's got some space to run into. He's got a couple of options here, Ricky Ruiz, and he picks Beto Avila, but overcooks the pass, and a promising attack goes.
That's what's gonna kill us.
Goes wanting. That touch from Moreno, I mean, I don't know, like if you get one of your best attackers into space like that, you kind of don't want any scenario where Moreno is like turning back from there. Like he basically should be doing everything to generate a shot from that chance, or a pass, like a forward pass, or sideways, I guess. But
keep it in the box.
Yeah, Beto Avila cutting into some good space here, and DeRoma able to initially win it back, and then it's come to Quezada who had a go from wide, but well high, unfortunately.
Yeah, at this point, I'm okay with that shot, though.
Yeah, no, and I think that is the first shot since Moreno mishit something in. I mean, I want to say it was like the 20-somethingth minute. So it's the first actual effort. I guess the Palermo header could be considered something. And then Moreno had one other chance where he got played through by by Ricky Ruiz, I think, or Gabby Torres. And he tried to, or no, it was a big switch maybe from Palermo. He tried to like take it down and hit it on the volley, and he hit it into the side netting. But that was another good Moreno chance that I was neglecting to mention. So Locomotive back in possession, though. It was initially, this has happened a few times, like where there's been just straight up miscommunication. I don't want to say it's like Quezada's fault, but Quezada's been involved in both of them. And Palermo and DeRoma now, like, both failing to find him out on that right wing, and Oakland trying to get down their right with Maury Donor now. Almost Nowie, he's the other young kid. He's playing right wing back. Number 45 there. 20 years old. Poor pass into midfield by Julian Bravo, and Locomotive maybe with one last attack here in regular time. Beto Avila takes it out of his feet and then just missed hit the shot. Got taken out as he shot. I mean, we've seen him score from those sort of acute angles before, so I didn't mind him taking the shot. And as he worked it around Julian Bravo, he definitely had like the half a yard to shape, but he just dragged the shot wide. But Locomotive generating chances here in 5 added minutes, so it's not the end of the story.
More of that, please.
Yeah. The press has largely been good in the first half, and nice little challenge here from, I mean, that ball certainly went out of play, right? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, optical illusion. It straight up looked like it went off of the boards and back in.
I think it just popped up.
It must have just popped up. I thought for sure just the way he slid in. I will say, like, for how poor Oakland has been this year, these like Oakland A's tribute kits are heat. Like the green and yellow with the white, like, I don't know. I really like these kits a lot. Good work from Charlie, and good work from Locomotive here is Beto Avila's gone down in the box. He's looking for something. He's not getting anything. Cabrera chips it to the far post, and Wahab Akwe had made a run, but
what are you
over
doing?
his head. Beto Avila's stayed down. It was clumsy. Like, I'm not really sure. It looked like he was looking for it, but yeah, I don't think it's ever a penalty.
No.
It looks like he initiates the contact with Hackshaw. Yeah, the whole thing's a bit confusing because I'm like, from Avila there, I'd love him just to get control of the ball. Like, he had options. Like, he's certainly not going to shoot from there, but he had options available, and him going down just made the chance harder.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
Calvillo, I think, losing the ball there to Wilson. The shot comes in, and more able to collect. But yeah, the warning signs remain for Locomotive. That initial ball back was a bit of a hospital pass from Eric Calvillo, and it found Armanakis eventually, but I think a deflection took the heat off of the strike, and Locomotive don't live to rue the mistake, as now almost now he caught in midfield.
Oh, just leave it for Frank.
Yeah, Frank trying to win the ball back. Frank has had some good moments, actually. That now I'm remembering that good Moreno chance that went into the side netting was actually a Frank DeRoma press. He won the ball back high up the field and then played it into Moreno, and who took the one touch and then hit it on the volley and into the side netting. But it was DeRoma's press that caused that, and DeRoma putting himself about here again. Yeah, unfortunate that wasn't. You can kind of see, like, very poor header for Palermo Ortiz.
What are we doing? Oh my god. We can't do anything right
And then
right
like
now.
that was like it's feeling all a little bit like Keystone Cops, like a little bit of a farce.
Have you seen those? I don't think they're around as much anymore, but they were like videos of like I'm pretty sure the doctored, but the volleyball player where they just
Mm-hmm.
keep like spiking and it keeps like hitting him in the face
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
keeps going back over.
yeah. Yeah, I think they have one too where it's like where it's a soccer goalie or whatever,
Uh,
and he keeps getting like accidentally saving
yeah.
by getting hit in the face and body.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Just hold on to the
I think
ball.
you could describe like what Locomotive is doing in stoppage time here as dicking around,
Hmm.
as we are approaching the end of the 5 minutes. Maybe one chance here if
Yeah.
Locomotive can do something productive here, and a good
Oof.
challenge from Kai Green, really strong on Gabby Torres to give Locomotive a throw. Can they get anything into the box? And
Oh nope,
Beto
that'll be
Avila
it.
not able to find Amano Moreno, and that'll likely send the teams to halftime. But yeah, Scott Sterling, that's the one. That video went around in college a lot back in the day. Back in the early days of YouTube. Oh, one last long ball for
Oh
Oakland.
Jesus Christ.
And then I think Akwe. Did they give him
Gives
the
a
corner
corner.
here?
Oh my god.
Why are we still playing? Exactly. We're into the 51st minute. The 6th minute of 5 added on. The minimum of 5. I know the rules, but corner kick for Oakland, and they've looked most dangerous from set pieces as Armanakis, his effort headed away, and there was a foul at the back post anyways, and that'll be that. Halftime, it will be 0-0. Benny Feilhaber's first half as Oakland Roots manager, ends scoreless, but Oakland 0, El Paso 0. Maury Donor, the reason they keep showing him on the broadcast is because he is such a recent addition to Oakland Roots that he is actually still listed on FOTMob as a Detroit City player. So that is how that is how recent he is in terms of joining Roots. But 0-0 at the Oakland Coliseum. A couple of good chances for Locomotive, a couple of good chances for Roots as well, and ultimately neither team has anything to show for it. But Christian, I mean, from what you saw, a little bit of the um, there's a little bit of the Locomotive memes that are just showing a little bit like the cracks of sort of the unserious side of this team, which they've been able to minimize more recently, but surely there's got to be a little bit more sharpness in the second half.
No, yeah. I mean, it's looking like 2024 out there. And I mean, the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team is that we're supposed to be more dangerous. And we're just not seeing that, at least in the 20 minutes that I watched, you're just not seeing that out there. Because yeah, I don't think there was a single thing that we did where I thought, man, that was good. Like we got on the end of a couple of like long balls over the top, but
Yeah.
in general, just not great football.
Yeah, it's actually been interesting because I know on the podcast in midweek I talked about the fact that midfield would be really important in the when a team plays a back three, which I know I sort of speculated that I was like, Oakland Roots just are a back three team to me, but we don't know how Failhaber would play. He did start with he's playing a back three, like a 3-4-3. So it's as we predicted, I guess. But the interesting thing is that Locomotive's best buildup has been down the wings, when I was sort of saying like the thing that we hopefully would be able to take advantage of is playing through the middle more, because we're going to outnumber them in midfield. They're playing with a 2 in midfield, and one of those is Panos Armanakis. That man has not defended in his life. You couldn't pay him enough to defend. So we basically are playing 3-on-1 in midfield against Tyler Gibson, and they haven't really done a ton aside from like we've pressed effectively, which is good. But in terms of actual buildup, we haven't played through the center that much, which I'm kind of surprised about, and we're going long a lot and doing these like big switches, when I would kind of expect us to say, hey, between Torres, DeRoma, and Calvillo, we can pass and possess the ball better than you. So we should be
But you
getting
would
those
never
guys
know.
like as many touches of the ball as possible. And yeah, you'd never know it, because they just haven't really done any of the buildup. It's all been through sort of the interchange. Like one of them will interchange with a fullback, but not like they're not really playing as a unit all that much in terms of the buildup.
Yeah, it's just been dull. And hopefully, I don't feel like we're a particularly good second half team. I
Yeah.
think we do our best work early. So hopefully they can turn that around. Because, like we said on the pod, this is a game that, you know, this is one of those ones that even though it's an away game, we need the 3 points here.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing, so the only real notable thing lineup wise that I'm surprised Wilmer didn't sort of seize on is just the Memo Diaz like narrative effect of why not, which Herbie put into the chat like as I said it. Just kind of why not get Memo on and have a little bit of that, playing against your former team in a city, where you did ply your trade for quite a while. I think he actually broke I think he might still be, because of the amount of turnover that they've had in Oakland, but I think he is there. I think he's made more appearances than any player for Oakland in
Jesus.
their history, in their USL history, I should say.
Mhm.
I don't know if they have players that have like more NISA appearances and stuff like that going back further, but yeah, you kind of wonder like why, we've got this player who used to play in Oakland. It's a bit of a narrative thing, probably a motivational thing for Memo. He knows the team, like all that sort of stuff. You just kind of think like, why not toss him on? But maybe there was an element of, well, now that I'm thinking, did Memo play against Colorado Springs? Is that maybe
He did. He played a full 90.
okay? That it may be as simple as that, and it does feel a little bit like when Memo. Well, I guess Ricky Ruiz like kind of plays left back by default now, because Gabby Torres plays in midfield. So, so there is no other left back aside from Noah Dolenmeyer, who's with the Dominican Republic on international duty right now. So yeah, Memo is sort of our lone fullback substitute. Chumasi is sort of our lone center back substitute, although he can play midfield as well. We've got Coronado on the bench, and then and then it's Moshaban, Frank, and
Lopez.
Lopez and Daniel Carter. So it is mostly attackers on the bench. And I think there's probably something in there to, where guys are popping up. I was talking about the fact that and while obviously he's the hot hand in a goal scoring way, Andy Cabrera has not had like the greatest game from I think if he is touching, the more that Andy Cabrera is touching the ball like outside of the box, or maybe not even the box, but outside of like the attacking third of the field, I feel like that is not ideal for Locomotive, because I feel like Cabrera's best qualities are like the closer to goal he is, the better. And when you ask him to do a lot of like dribbling and passing, like, I'm not saying he's bad at those things. I just mean he's a lot better finisher than he is a winger.
Mm-hmm.
And in this game so far, most of his touches have been in midfield, like, and sort of trying to beat a player one-on-one, which I think we all know, like, that's just not his strength. So I would love to see Andy getting more touches in and around the box. So there maybe is an argument for a like Moshe Ban sub.
It's a controversial take these days.
For Beto, only to be able to place Andy closer to goal. Like to play him maybe more centrally and get him like more touches in and around the box. And let Moshe Bane be the guy who like drifts out wide and does all the sort of like, is like the connective tissue. And get Andy a little bit more like push forward a little bit, because right now, like him playing as a winger is just not, it just doesn't emphasize his best attributes. And Herbie saying that's why Memo in for Quezada, because I think that, and there is probably an argument to be made there too, to let Andy do a little bit, to not feel like he has to drop as far back to get the ball. Like if Memo's pushing forward a little bit more, then yeah, there is probably an argument to be made that Diaz feels like sort of solves that problem. But well, across USL, late breaking news is that New Mexico United has drawn Colorado Springs.
That San Antonio result is good for them.
So yeah, New Mexico on fraud watch, but San Antonio taking care of business at home to Lights. And I think San Antonio's resume is strengthening. In terms of the action that's going on right now, Monterey Bay and Lexington are tied 1-1 at halftime. Goals from Firmino and Larson in that one. And then Phoenix Rising leads Orange County via a Darius Formella goal in the 21st minute. And that game is in the 33rd. And then action earlier today, Charleston Battery draw against Loudoun United, which Charleston have kind of been beating everybody recently. So that's a really good result from Loudoun. Pittsburgh beat Detroit in a battle of two teams sort of on the lower end of the playoff spectrum in the East. Miami gets a good win against Rhode Island, and I would say in general this Miami team just far more serious than what we're used to seeing out of Miami FC. Louisville beat the Rowdies 2-1, and feels like there is no floor now for Tampa Bay, who are actually below Hartford in the standings, and this Hartford team is fucking hopeless. So so yeah, Tampa Bay just
and
really
Hartford has a game in hand too.
Yeah, like really in the doldrums down there. 2 early goals for Louisville, enough to see off the Rowdies. And then I think that catches us up, and there is still a kickoff yet to come in USL, if you can believe it, which is, or I guess they should be kicking off any moment, but Sacramento and Tulsa with a what, a 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Mountain time,
Mountain. Yeah.
9 p.m. Mountain kickoff. Like, so at 8 p.m. kickoff is late for anybody, right? Like
Yeah.
anybody kicking off later than 7:30, it's a pretty late kickoff.
God bless America.
USL after dark. We're seeing the stats from the first half, and it kind of tells a story where it's like Locomotive had most of the possession, the more shots, but both teams end the half with 2 shots on target. So it sort of is level in kind of the very basic ways. And just trying to keep an eye out because USL
Doesn't look like any subs.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Trying to spot if there were any for Oakland, but I don't think so. And I mean, if you're Oakland going in 0-0 against a team that's second in the table when you're 11th in the West, is, you probably aren't gonna you're in if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Mode. For Locomotive, the adjustments feel like maybe more as it looks like maybe Oakland have readied a couple of subs now that I'm seeing.
Oh, there's Mr.
Jurgen Damm looks set to come on, and
Mark Belishvili.
Yeah, Gagi Margalishvili, the Georgian defender. So I'd imagine. Okay, so it is a sort of like for like. So Julian Bravo, who got the start at center back and actually was the highest rated Roots player in the first half. And then so Gagi on for him. And that's a like for like at center back, but then Jurgen Damm coming on for, you said, Donor.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Donor change is an interesting one because I guess it is a winger in the classic sense, but he's not playing like on the wing. He's playing as a forward. I didn't see any changes for Locomotive in the while that was going on, and we are underway. Wait, did Chumasi come on?
Oh yeah, one of those center backs doesn't look right.
Oh, it's Chumasi. Chumasi came on for Palermo Ortiz. It looks like, yeah. Confirmation from the graphic, but yeah, so Palermo Ortiz, who did get hit in the head twice in the first half, is sub for Kofi Chumasi. That one I don't love as much because that feels enforced. Like it feels like maybe there's a genuine concern about Palermo.
Yeah.
Because he was fine. Like, he played well in the first half. I wouldn't be. It definitely wasn't for like performance reasons. As Daroma fouled there in midfield, and a yellow card for Elmas Nawi, the young kid who he's played out on the wing back and then or out on the wing and dropped into midfield. And I guess anybody trying to track Daroma, but the way that he stepped on Daroma's foot, I guess, egregious enough and right in front of the referee to warrant the yellow. Personally, I thought it was a little bit harsh. I'm being more lenient with Roots than the ref is, but Locomotive kind of cheaply give that one away, and luckily Oakland cheaply give it back. So second half recently underway. I'm just about to cross the 47-minute mark on the timing here. 47 now. So Locomotive in possession. Ruiz back to Akwe, and then across to Chumasi, who was the second half sub for Palermo Ortiz. For those joining late, Ortiz took a blow to the head. Like, it was a head-to-head clash with Wilson of Roots early in the first half, and then an elbow to the back of the head late in the first half. So Gabby Torres whipping a ball in here, and it was towards Andy Cabrera and behind.
Corner
I think
kick.
There's a question. There's a little bit of a question mark of Naveal Hackshaw. Did Naveal Hackshaw handle that ball? But there was no real appeal from Locomotive. So, but just the way it bounced up felt very awkward. And it will be a corner kick for Locomotive. Good early start, and what a ball from Gabby Torres! Just whipped into a very, very dangerous area. And Andy Cabrera was there if it was available, but Calvillo and Torres both near this one, discussing sort of how they're going to approach. Calvillo takes it short. Gabby Torres floats it to the back post. Then clipped in by Cabrera. It was a mishit there. And then Chumasi was sort of trying to line up to shoot. It didn't drop for him, but able to play it out to Gabby Torres, and Locomotive looking to reset here offensively. Quezada getting into some good space. Avila out on the right, whips in a good ball, and I think Chumasi had stayed forward from the corner, and now he retreats to his center back position as Locomotive get a throw here. But good start, good opening few minutes here for Locomotive, applying some early pressure in the second half. Quezada floats a cross in.
Gabby
Cabrera trying to get on the end of that, but now Oakland looking to break. Calvillo will eventually collect that one, and then Quezada, he turned well and sort of accidentally ends up in a decent position, but Oakland able to maintain possession there. Long ball up towards Sinistera, and then it was Wilson who tried to juggle, but Daroma did really well to allow Gabby to collect that one. Sort of a frenetic pace here. I'm surprised no yellow card for Armanakis there. That was really
that one was
cynical.
way more cynical than
just barges Ricky over as he was running into space. Yeah, really strange, because I would say that's far more of a yellow than the one he actually gave Almasnawi a yellow for. But Locomotive in possession. Daroma across to Chumasi. A little bit of space opening up. He actually floats the ball into the box, and it's one of those where I'm like, Beto has basically no chance of scoring from that header. Like, almost has to be a flick on or knockdown or something. But
he said, "You don't want Andy to get the ball on the wing? Fine, I won't give the ball to Andy on the wing."
Exactly. Chumasi commits a foul there. Oakland trying to restart quickly, and Kai Green on the ball. And Gagi, the Georgian.
Are the graffiti kits growing on you at all?
A little bit. I actually, when this game first started, I was like, why the hell did they wear these when the other team's wearing white? as Oakland's getting down the right-hand side, but overcooked the pass
Jesus Christ.
for Panos, and more able to collect. I didn't like it for that reason. I would say in general, I think they're fine. I do think Calvillo did really well there to cook El Misnawi, and then does sort of find Gabby Torres. I don't think that was initially who he was trying to pass the ball to, but it worked out. El Misnawi was definitely in a position where he was like, oh no, if I foul this guy, I'm getting sent off. He just really got into a bad situation, but some miscommunication there with Moreno. Moreno's been sort of I don't know, like I talked about him sort of embellishing some of the contact and stuff like that, but I would say Moreno's performance has been just like weird, for lack of a better term, and a back heel here, opening up some space for Oakland. Had to play it back in the end, which helps Locomotive out a little bit, but a big switch here and a nice knockdown. That was very dangerous for Locomotive. Well dealt with. I think it was Chumasi intervening there. That was the second half substitute, making a vital touch as the crossfield pass caught them completely out of shape, and that cushioned pass from Prentice for Armanakis should absolutely have resulted in a goal. Like that was a wonderful ball. And the initial pass from Wolfgang Prentice was on the money, but luckily Chumasi intervened and Locomotive live to fight another day. But yeah, so I would say on the to finalize on the kit front, I think like compared to the midnight kit, which Christian is rocking tonight, like I think that is still the strongest offering from Hummel.
Do we have a white kit this year?
We have the same one, but I don't think we've been really wearing it all that often. So I would say in terms of like our, this year's kits, it's the midnight kit, the graffiti kit, and then like way down here is the all white like nonsense kit that we wore last year. Little interchange from Oakland. I was kind of expecting the offside flag to go up, but cutback eventually cleared out, and it'll just be a throw. Gabby Torres able to deal with that, but Oakland growing in danger, and there's a little bit of, I don't know, the pattern of the first half is now revealing itself again in the second half, and it was El Misnawi who had gotten to the byline there. Ball cleared away, not fully. And then Ruiz puts it into touch. There were some half-hearted appeals from Oakland, and he's actually won the throw for Locomotive, so well done by Ricky Ruiz. But half-hearted appeals there from Oakland for a handball from Wahab Akwe, but it always felt a little bit of a stretch. And now El Misnawi is going to be subbed, and
Daniel Gomez
makes his way on. So El Misnawi protected given his booking, and the 20-year-old saved any potential embarrassment here as that ball does not quite stay in play. And looked like maybe Beto Avila was eager to get things started down that left-hand side, but Gabby Torres will take the throw. Still 0-0, 55 minutes gone.
Is Wilmer at this match? I feel like I've seen him on the broadcast once.
He is. They showed him more. They showed him more in the first half. I joked that there was a nice press there from Beto Avila, but Oakland able to take it back. But then Gabby Torres steps in with a challenge of his own, and Andy Cabrera onto the ball. Wasn't able to find Gabby Torres, but Gabby intervening again. Oakland, though, still in possession. Wolfgang Prentice plays the ball forward. Chumasi's initial touch, not the best.
It's out.
Held in by Sinistera, or no, it was. Okay. It does say that they do eventually come to the conclusion that it went out. But I joked there was a moment where Andy Cabrera
what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. There was a moment where Andy Cabrera was fouled on that side, or it looked like he was fouled on that side. Referee didn't give anything, and then he called a foul for Oakland that was of a similar nature. Like the challenge was similar, as Andy does really well to win that ball. Amando's in space. Can Amando get to this? Really good challenge in the end from Kai Green. And it will be a Locomotive throw. Amando really needed to like get that out from under his feet and just trust his pace against Kai Green.
Yeah.
But really good recovery from the Roots defender, who was definitely at a disadvantage, but
yeah,
did well. It does seem like Amando probably could have just taken a little bit more of a heavy touch into space and try to trust himself, but he went shoulder to shoulder, and Jurgen Damm committing the foul here. We actually didn't get coverage of it because they were showing the replay.
there it is. Oh,
yeah. Not particularly clever from Jurgen Damm. Probably should have gone in the book, to be honest, because that's about an ankle high challenge. But Gabby Torres whips this one in. Oh, it's going to fall for Avila. Overhead kick. Was there a handball? And saved in the end from Chumasi, who nearly put that one away. What a save from McIntosh in the end. But I guess it was at a good height for him. But the reaction there from Oakland, very good. As it fell to Avila, I thought maybe from the overhead. Whispers
he
of
did a really good job of setting up that overhead for himself.
Yeah, right. Whispers of handball from Nabil Hackshaw, but I don't think that's ever getting given. Chumasi intervening here, and then a trip in midfield leaves Gabby Torres with the ball, and yeah, foul goes Locomotive's way. Strong arguments from Gibson here, and he's going to talk his way into the book if he's not careful, but the referee, I don't know. I'm very confused by this referee now, because he was so quick to give a yellow card. And in the aftermath of this challenge on Gabby Torres, it's Gabby Torres, even though he wins the foul, he gets the talking to. So I'm quite confused about this referee's style. But
it is. He was like, if I give this first card, they'll just stop fouling each other. And then you realize, well, I can't.
Just please.
I can't give everyone cards, so I guess I'm just not going to anymore.
Yeah. Quezada to Cabrera. Oh, that initial touch was good, but he couldn't get past his marker. Quezada really good marking back, but then somehow can't find. Or no, was that Andy?
It was Cabrera.
It was Andy. Yeah. Both of the guys on that side being 13 and 18 is a nightmare. Like that should not be allowed. It's now Oakland in possession, but yeah, the initial tracking back from Andy was great, and then he couldn't find DeRomo with the pass. That ball does come through. Player goes down. It was a heavy touch though from, I think it was Wilson coming through, or no, Sinistera it was. And I was very concerned that Mora was going to get whistled for a foul there, but luckily the referee saw sense, and Locomotive restart from a free kick. That was the craziest spelling of Sinistera's name. Like, they just straight up spelled his name fully wrong on the Oakland broadcast. Sinestra. Nice little layoff there. Gabby Torres. He's looking for Amando Moreno, who does really, really well here. He's got options in the center. Can he find the right one? No.
He literally
passed it straight
right to him. Oh my god.
Straight to an Oakland player. And now Oakland trying to break the other way. Luckily, they don't find their target down the right-hand side. But what a chance for Amano Moreno. And he had time to pick his pass and just got it completely wrong. Like no way to sugarcoat it. Yeah, he can't tell the kids apart either. As Oakland winning the ball back high up the field here. This is why I think they should have worn the midnight kits today, but what do I know? Beto Avila doing really well there. I thought to win a free kick, but Locomotive having to work for this one, and well done from Wahab Akwe to keep Wolfgang Prentice from getting on the end of that, but Oakland able to get the ball back. That was strange. I did think there was a foul in midfield there against Locomotive, but referee not seeing it that way. And then he whistles the foul against Chumasi on Sinistera. Calvillo obviously letting him know what he thinks of that. Another team of mine went through some officiating drama, if you will, and that was the Chicago Cubs against the Detroit Tigers today. They were not happy with the home plate umpire strike zone, but did end up winning the game. So I'm hopeful that Locomotive's ref drama doesn't impact the result. Armanakis over the free kick here, unsurprisingly. Whips it out wide. It's knocked down, but not towards anyone in particular for Oakland. And Locomotive trying to expand here, but Oakland back on the ball. Headed away by Wahab Akwe, but a poor pass from Gabby Torres. Chance here for Oakland Roots, and luckily cleared in the end by Alvaro Quezada. But my word, making this harder than it needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting point from Herbie. The fact that it does feel like maybe Amano Moreno's just kind of faded from this game a little bit, but I he did have that chance not that long ago to create an assist, and now Oakland back on the ball. Good tracking back from Andy Cabrera, and eventually gets the foul. Very weird. Again, a very weird sequence, and Calvillo just not happy. Referee gives him a talking to. And then Chumasi takes a free kick back to Sebastian Moramora, who, all things considered, he hasn't really had much to do since like the 3rd minute in terms of actually facing shots. Very poor giveaway.
We're just gifting them the ball.
Yeah. No, this is one of the poorest, I would say, passing performances from Locomotive in quite a while. As Gabby Torres then muscled off the ball. It was Sinistera looking for Wilson. Comes out to Prentice. Prentice floats across, headed away by Ricky Ruiz. Only as far as Jurgen Dahm. Jurgen Dahm floats in across of his own, and somehow Wilson has not turned that into the open net. Wow. Lucky break for Locomotive, and then a foul given their way. Moramora's gone down off the ball. Not sure. Once Jurgen Dahm got it in this position, I was like, well, that's that. And it was just a little too tall for Wilson, who is pretty big. So just skipped off the top of his head. If he had left it for Prentice, that is probably a goal. And Moramora now down, struggling. It looks like maybe this isn't great news if Moramora has to come off here.
I think Is it just a cramp? I don't know.
He's getting treatment.
I guess he did have to. Did he jump for that ball? For
Yeah.
Jam's cross? Might have tweaked something there. Oh, there goes Canales.
Yeah.
But like we're at going into the 68th minute. This should not be our only sub.
Right. So far, we've made a sub for Palermo Ortiz, who is probably concussed, and then, and then, if we make the change for, for Moramora, again an injury enforced change. We haven't been particularly good since basically the opening 10 minutes, like maybe 8 to 10 minutes of the half. Them showing this goalie warm up on the sideline is fucking diabolical. Like, like it got to the point where Canal, your primo on the sideline over here was asking for a ball. Like, can I get a ball? It's like the backup goalie was not planning on coming into this game. Let's be real. So luckily it does feel like all of that was quite unnecessary and more seems fine to continue. Nice little flick here. And
Just carry the
then,
ball.
oh, it went out, I guess, is the eventual verdict. Oakland ball. The ball is in play, guys.
For real.
Like, like I
And
do
half the
not.
time that shot was out of focus too.
Right. That's crazy work. Wait, has Jurgen Damm always worn Jurgen on his?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's do a little research here.
Because I don't know. There's something about umlauts in Mexico that just feels like illegal. Is the field the same measurements as like Austin? I don't think so. Given the fact that it's like it's not as narrow as obviously like the swap, but it is like baseball constrained. So I think like it's not as big as like an RGV or Austin, but it's probably quite a bit bigger than Locomotive, or we can definitively say it's a lot bigger than Locomotive. Free kick here for Roots. The header comes in, and Roots wanted a corner, but to me that was a pretty clear goal kick, well over the bar from the Roots header. Still no changes for Locomotive. Doroma nearly caught in possession, which is something you do not see every day. Chumasi trying to go long to Moreno. Man, there are like real 2024 vibes on this game. As Cabrera kind of lucks into possession. I'll take it. Doroma definitely was not expecting to receive that pass from Calvillo. But I would agree with you that there are 2024 vibes in that. I don't understand why we keep playing the ball so long. And we just can't seem to keep hold of it for more than like 2 passes in a row. On a poor giveaway from Wahab Akwe, and Locomotive now in a spot of bother. Good intervention
good
from
build
Chumasi. Yeah, that was very good from Oakland, and foul in the end given against Oakland. I think Gibson on Torres, who Gibson has done a ton of work tonight. It has to be said. He's, in terms of 2024 Locomotive vibes, Tyler Gibson is Oakland Roots Liam Rose of just fighting for his life out there in midfield. Like he's the only one. And Armanak is coming off for Justin Rasmussen. That's a pretty defensive change, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Rasmussen is a bit more of a 6, although he famously scored the first ever goal for Oakland Roots at the Coliseum with that insane overhead kick, which I think is still about their only highlight of the season. But Oakland back in possession, and Locomotive again, like not blinking. It's 73rd minute. Yeah, I mean, Nick said it. Just some fresh legs would be nice. But
Yeah,
nothing,
literally
nothing
anyone.
imminent. Yeah, nothing imminent right now. It does feel like a Moshe Bane change for Avila. Feels like a bit of a no-brainer. And again, like not from a goal scoring perspective, just strictly from a like I can run and maybe stitch things together. Coronado, probably not a bad shout. I would say Calvillo is probably the one who would need to make way. And then the memo for Quezada shout is probably fair as well. That's not a great challenge. That I'd be hoping to see a card for this, but it doesn't look like the refs again, like the ref gave one card at the beginning of the half, but that tackle did not look particularly good.
Oh yeah.
It was
Right
like
into
the
his knee.
follow. It was like the follow through from Hackshaw, because initially when he came up, and now
That's
there
funny
is
because
a yellow.
I don't like that I don't like that call at all. I feel like they were both
No,
just going for the ball.
no. Like I get giving a foul if that pass doesn't find its target because he does come in to him kind of late, but I don't think there's anything particularly like sour about that challenge, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like he doesn't lead with his, Benny Foulhopper is probably like, I'd have rather you given a yellow for the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This ref needs to recalibrate.
yeah, no, it's all a bit weird, but also weird is that we are going to hit 75 minutes with no subs for Locomotive once again. Calvillo initially doing something good and then giving the ball away. And Locomotive eventually win the throw, but man, I don't know if this is odd, and maybe this is a bit of like, as Ricky Ruiz with a stumble, and what an intervention from Chumasi, who, I mean, I think it's safe to say Chumasi's been
He's had a game since coming on.
key since coming on. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's harsh on Ricky that he stumbles, but when you're marking Jurgen Damm, like you just can't afford to.
Yeah.
And it is a corner for Oakland, and I don't know, just this game has the weirdest possible vibes, like just so so odd. And Locomotive's goal scoring woes just
catch that.
Yeah, why is he punching? And a slip in the end, what lets Locomotive off the hook. But then
I'm getting so tired of us hitting the ball over.
we irritating .jpg.
Yes.
No, like I don't know. These boys are toiling.
No matter the result, the real winner tonight is Mika
Right.
because I don't think she's watching.
For opting out. Yeah. No, that is fair to say.
What are we doing?
If we had another fullback on the bench, I would say Ricky probably needs to go, but we don't. So the only option would be to bring Coronado on for Ricky Ruiz and then move Gabby Torres back to left back. That would be the option at this point.
I mean, just do it. We're not doing shit in the midfield anyway.
Yep. No, like Coronado, Memo Diaz, and Moshabane triple sub needed to happen 10 minutes ago. We genuinely haven't threatened in 20 minutes. Like,
I think I see. I don't know if that's Memo on the sideline for us there.
yeah, probably. If
Memo or
he's the only
Coronado.
sub though, like that just feels like such a strange, I don't know. Like are we sure Quezada's the only one who could use a Oakland keeping some sustained possession, and luckily Naveal Hackshaw of all people has a go from 28 yards.
Oh, it was Coronado.
Okay, so Coronado is coming on for Beto
For Avila.
Avila, which I
So we're
guess moves
giving
us
up
to a
on.
4-4-2,
I was like,
basically.
so we're giving up on scoring, I guess.
Yeah. Against a team that going into this game they've allowed 22 goals this season in 12 matches. So, just shy of 2 goals a game they're conceding. I do like that we're like, hey, we're having trouble in this one. Like, what do you think, Wilmer? And he's like 4-4 fucking 2. It's like, I don't know if the shape was the issue. Like, I would have said the shape is probably fine. We created plenty against them like early on. It's just we just don't we don't have any gas left in the
Quality is not
tank.
there, yeah.
And yeah. I mean, all three of our forwards, you could say, have been basically anonymous in the second half.
And I feel like they've all stopped running too, so
Yeah. Calvillo's been brutal tonight. Like, I think we can now say Eric has not had a good night. He actually should have had an assist on a Moreno chance, like in the first half. He got to the byline, it was really good, and now Daroma's sent Roots player into the advertising hoardings. Wolfgang Prentice, I believe. There are people in USL who will tell you there's no bad draws on the road. That's a lie.
yeah.
That's not true in this instance. And it could still get worse as ball into the center, headed away. Well done. Referee should have played advantage there, but Jeroma fouled and Jurgen Dahm, the offending party.
There's no such thing. We have no advantage in this match.
No. Okay. Dead serious question. It's going to sound like I'm being a smartass, but and maybe Locomotive will make me eat my thought here as Cabrera into the box, but not able to keep possession. Almost won it back, but eventually cleared by Oakland. Um, why fly Tumi Moshibane, Frank Lopez, and Daniel Carter to California for them to sit on the bench for 90 minutes in a 0-0 game? Like what is the actual fucking point of that?
Yeah. Like, what situation are you gonna? If you're not gonna play them now,
Miles.
when are you gonna play them?
Southwest Airlines.
I'm-
Southwest Airlines frequent flyer miles. You know what? At this point, like I bought this flight points, baby. Nice little interchange there from Locomotive down the right. I think it was Quezada, Cabrera, and Gabby Torres linking up, and now Moreno trying to work his magic, but
Gets worked out of bounds.
yeah. Was Ortiz? Wait, was he on a booking? Did he get booked?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so.
It was
Beto
Avila was the only one.
Beto was on
Yeah.
a yellow, but yeah, that was
Offside.
long ball. Wow. Looked kind of borderline, but no real complaints from Cabrera as the offside flag goes up, and still like half our bench is attackers, and we're not going to make a attacking sub in 90 minutes on the road
Against this fucking team.
and Saldana coming on for Sinistera, who I think his performance could be described as putting himself about. Aquay and Wilson going at it there out on the wing, but Oakland winning the throw. Poor knockdown from Oakland, but similarly poor from Locomotive. Now Coronado, can he settle things? Maybe just a little bit. Long ball does find Torres, and he's
There we go. Shoot.
into some good space. Cabrera went for the first time ball to Moreno and overcooked it. So
No, that was. I think that's as good as it's gonna get.
yeah. That's crazy. I don't know that we've seen Andy pass from that sort of position in the last like 3 months. I was shocked he didn't try to shape to shoot.
Yeah. Like, you're literally the only one on this team that can score, so
Yeah. uh, game's gotten a bit sloppy though,
he's
which
not off. Ooh.
big collision between what is it, Calvillo and the goalkeeper McIntosh.
Yeah, Covey, he's getting a card for that for sure.
I think it was played last by an Oakland player.
Did Cavio get a cleat to the face? Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Keeper got a cleat to the rib cage, and Cavio got a cleat to the face.
Oh, he is gonna book Calvillo.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's,
It's
I
like
mean, like,
it's like the definition of 50-50 though.
yeah, but it's the keeper.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked about it at all.
No, I guess not, but I don't know. I don't know.
And he like, yeah.
I get it, and in the same way, like I guess my larger my larger thing with goalkeepers is they get too much protection like this.
Mhm.
But because like they should also be playing the game, right? You know. It is, and I would say it's a very odd situation that, you know, the player kicked in the head is the one booked, but you won't often see that. Um,
Ugh. Well, that means we're gonna have at least 3 more minutes of this godforsaken match.
right. Roots on the ball as we cross the 88-minute mark here.
It's their ball? What?
Yeah, that was really strange. I thought it definitely came off of an Oakland player last, but Locomotive able to win it off the throw, and then Ruiz boots it. I'm sorry, it's fucking crazy that our one sub was for Ortiz. Like, I know we've talked about like, this is a new level from Wilmer. Like,
Oh, and Avila. We put in the
oh yeah,
defensive
sorry, yeah.
midfielder for Avila.
Yeah. I'm also still kind of reeling at the Benny Fallhaber appointment. It's very odd to see him there, but
Oh no.
Oakland with an opportunity here. Wolfgang Prentice into the
Oof.
channel and just miscalculated the cross there. That run across field was really, really dangerous for Roots, but goal kick for Locomotive, and I mean, I guess it's safe to say at this point that Locomotive's just hoping that the game peters out, because
Help is not coming.
yeah, and a bulk of the second half has been 6 added minutes.
6
Jesus
minutes. Jesus
Christ.
Christ. Oof.
Cross comes in. Oh, I thought that was it.
No.
And like 3 Locomotive players go down with cramp in the box.
Oh, wow. It's almost like we should do something about that.
Yeah. Rasmussen put the cross in, and all it needed was a touch, but no, this is pathetic. We're literally trying to like injury time our way out of Oakland with a draw.
Okay. Now it looks
And
like
now, yeah,
Memo.
now Frank
Oh, it's
Lopez is
Frank
going to come
Lopez.
on for Moreno, which is like, sure.
Like you're not adding anything.
Yeah. The Tibbs of USL. Christian, your thoughts?
Um. Well, let's see if he can hang on to the job at least. Where's he at right now? He's not in Chicago anymore, right?
No, Tibbs just got fired from the Knicks, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which is crazy, like just crazy because they like in theory could have been in a
In a final.
final, like, which is insane.
Well, that's a good cross.
Yeah, Quezada's cross towards the never quit sign out there and down the first baseline. Well, I'll wait for full time to kind of give my thoughts, but man, just not great. Not great in Oakland, has to be said. Bright spots in the first half, but the second half has been absolutely fucking diabolical. We got Mora laying on the ball. Like, this is small like club behavior right here. Like,
Yeah.
trying to waste our way into a draw in Oakland against a team 11th in the Western Conference. Calvillo's kind of playing as a winger, I guess. It's really crazy too that Memo Diaz came all the way here to sit on the bench against his former club. Nice little move there from Eric. But Frank couldn't find the return pass, and that's kind of the story of the whole game, like in one sequence. Well done from Andy there. He starts quickly. Coronado. I mean, there's still technically like a minute and a half to do something, but nope. Ricky Ruiz gives the ball away extremely cheaply, and it'll be an Oakland throw. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a lot to write home about in this one. Aside from the fact that we have been poor. Oakland still trying to make something of this. The deflection put it nearly into the path of Rasmussen out on that left-hand side, but they still have a throw.
For us.
Oh, it did go off of the, yeah. And yeah, now Locomotive, I guess, will just try to see this out. Prentice onto the ball for Oakland. We've played the 6 added minutes, so I don't know how long the referee's going to have him pass it around, although he pointed to his watch a couple of times, so he'll probably let him get a little bit here. Hackshaw, and now, and that should about do it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, full time. Wow. Yeah. So a soccer game technically occurred.
I am a little bit concerned just because, like, the way I felt watching this week was even worse than the way I felt watching last week, and that's that, like, the game was so dull.
Hmm.
Um, and to see that 2 weeks in a row
Yeah.
is worrying.
Yeah.
Because, like, at this, like, the fixture congestion, all that, like, is done, right? Like, I guess we still have one more Jägermeister
Yeah.
Cup match, but
But even then, those are on Saturdays. So we
yeah,
we
so
do only have like, I mean, we have like one game a week. Except for the last week of September into the first week of October. We have a 3-game week of we play Rhode Island, and then a few days later we play Oakland, but those games are both at home. And then we go to Orange County on the 4th. But then after that, but the rest of the season is like one game a week.
yeah, and we're healthy right now. As far as I know, we're not missing any significant
Yeah,
outfield player. I mean, Jamali's out obviously, but like this game is the same with Jamali or without Jamali. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think like the concern is that after about 65 minutes, like we looked completely out of ideas and out of energy,
Yeah.
which like if the thing is we have to win a game in the first half or we just don't win, um, that's not necessarily going to work the rest of the season. And the fact that he flew 7 outfield players to this match to sit on the bench and made 2 subs, both of which were, well, the one of which was enforced, the other of which was I don't want to say
Like the word
inconsequential, but like
it was like the one least likely of all of the three attacking players on the
yeah,
bench. It's the one least likely to make an impact.
yeah. And then Coronado for an attacking player. Like just none of the subs were a signal of intent, right? Of like, we're going to go grab this game. Like, we're going to take control back of this game. Um, and yeah, I do think it's concerning. I think like the fact it ends 0-0 has more to do with the fact that Oakland was bad. Like they're just not that good of a team. Like if this is a better Western Conference team, I think this game is like a lopsided loss for Locomotive, like with this same exact performance.
Uh-huh.
Because the first opportunity for Oakland, they should have had a lead inside 3 minutes from some like absolutely diabolical set piece defending. And then essentially for a decent chunk of the first half and for all but the opening like 10 minutes of the second half, like Oakland were threatening, even if they weren't like good. Like they were threatening.
Yeah, there was
Where
zero end product.
we just weren't. We just weren't.
Any other team, we lose like 4-0, I think.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, I don't know. They had their chances, and like Oakland will probably be kicking themselves because this was a fantastic chance to get one over at home, and there'll be like, you know, we outshot them, we outpossessed them technically, but the fact that I think we had 6 shots and 2 on target at halftime, and then we end the game with 9 shots and 3 on target, so we literally had 3 shots in the second half at 0-0, like chasing the game, and we made effectively no changes that directly impacted our attacking approach. And if anything, like we made a regressive change by bringing on Coronado for Beto Avila. So it was like, yeah, not good. I don't like the fact that Amano Moreno like looked leggy in the second half. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that just did not make me feel great about this. What definitely should have been, well, it's a winnable game, and they just didn't, but we didn't look like the better team throughout it. Like we didn't really exert ourselves in the way that you'd expect from a team that's second over a team that's, you know, bottom of the table.
Yeah, it was just no good. It was like we said at halftime, just very 2024.
Yeah.
Just dull soccer.
Unfortunate. Well, that's how it ends. 0-0. El Paso Locomotive unable to get anything out of their trip out to the Bay Area. And next up is, I mean, we'll probably be recording this week, I think, but we've got Orange County up next on
At
the 14th.
home.
So at home. So it'll be a bit of a change of pace, like getting back in the league and at home. But Orange County, I think, just may have lost a heartbreaker to Phoenix now 3-1 up actually against Orange County. So Orange County suffering a bit tonight out in Phoenix. But yeah, so we'll likely be back this week, but until we see you guys again, stay loco.